Alrighty boys, Colin here with SVG PCs. The video I'm recording today is breaking down the best value for money PCs that you can buy right now. So these are not within a particular strict budget. It's just a culmination of the best value parts, and then whatever the price ends up being at the end is what the budget is. We got three different price ranges ranging from in and around the 500 mark up to the 1200 mark, and then we also have a 8 to 900-ish mark in between as well. So if you're looking for a PC that's strictly no frills, pure performance, and the best value for money, this is the guide that you want to be looking at. This is the current landscape of things midway through 2025, and I'll put timestamps below so that you can skip to the budget that's relevant to you. So we'll get straight into it. Without further ado, we're starting off with our cheapest system. Now you'll see here we have 527, but I have a couple of different graphics card options at this price point, and one of those graphics card options will bring it below the 500 mark. That graphics card is going to be the Intel Arc B580. There is a asterisk with including this card in your PC build. The reason I've put it in here is because of the price. The price is really good, but something that you need to be aware if you're not too familiar with these cards is that they do have certain issues with ability to run certain games. So the driver issues are not perfect. So if you want to negate the potential issues that could come with the Arc B580, I would recommend going with a 3060 12GB instead, just for a little bit better to support. And NVIDIA drivers pretty much don't miss. You know, you'll be able to play pretty much every game with this card. 1080p medium settings. This budget pertains to the 1080p budget overall. You're not really doing 1440 with this build. Let's go from bottom to top here. So you've got your Asus RTX 3060 here. This is still a great card, even though it came out all the way back in 2021. Above that, we've got the Ryzen 5 550. Now at this price range, unfortunately, you're not really looking at an AM5 CPU just because of the price point of the motherboards. The RAM is so much higher as well as the processor, but this is still a great budget processor, and this will do you very happily for the next couple of years when paired with this card. You just have to manage your expectations of the kind of performance that you're going to be getting at this price range. Above that, we've just got a bog standard A520M board that supports this processor. £50, super cheap, has everything that you will need for it. It's a pretty basic bog standard motherboard. Above that, we've got a Just Stop Black 650 watt. Now this is £30. This is a little bit on the cheap side, but from what I've seen in the reviews, these power supplies seem to be relatively decently performing. They don't seem to be particularly dodgy, and this manufacturer overall has a pretty high rating on Amazon. So I personally would be happy to recommend this power supply, but if you're not comfortable with having this cheap of a power supply in your build, for about 10 to 15 more, you can get a Corsair branded one at a similar wattage. So for this PC build, you don't really need more than 500, but if you're looking at the Corsair models, they might be around about 100 watts less, so just bear that in mind. Above that, we've got Lexar DDR4 RAM at 3200 megahertz. They are ramping down production of DDR4 currently, so if you want to get DDR4 for cheap, 2025 will be the last time that you can get it for as cheap as they slowly take it out of production. Above that, we've just got a very standard King spec 1TB SSD. This is just the cheapest one that they have currently available. And then above that, we've got an Ion Z PC case M80X. You might be wondering why I've selected a white case and why particularly this case, and the reason for that I will show you right now. I have a little soft spot for this case. As you can see, this is a very attractive PC case, so I will happily recommend this case all day. It also comes with 3 RGB fans that honestly just look really good. They're a rip-off of the Lee style fans, the Infinity fans. They just look awesome. We're moving up to our 8 to 900 budget. We'll do the same and we'll work our way up from the bottom to the top. And what I've included here is a PowerColor Reaper AMD RX 9060 XT. The 9060 XT is the best value 16GB card that you can get for around 350 currently. If I look at Overclockers UK as well, I can get a slightly nicer looking one for 10 quid extra. If you don't really like Power Color and you would like a more reputable brand, Sapphire, I can't recommend them enough. They make really gorgeous graphics cards, you can see here. So now that we've stretched our budget a little bit further, you can afford to go up to AM5. Also for longevity purposes, being able to be on AM5 will lead you to having a really good upgrade path for the next 5-6 years minimum. We saw how long AM4 lasted, so if AM5 lasts as long, if not longer, we're in really good stead for an amazing upgradability path. The 7600 is an awesome processor. I cannot recommend it enough. It's in my PC currently. I bought it when it first released. I bought it early January of 2024 and I've had zero issues with it whatsoever. I'll happily recommend this all day, every day. The price of DDR5 has come down quite a lot, surprisingly. I was surprised to see just how cheap this was, because I remember when I bought my DDR5, yes, it was RGB, but I spent around 130-ish, but that was on the cusp of DDR5 coming out. So honestly, the price for how much RAM and the speed is 6000 megahertz, which is exactly the sweet spot for what you want for a 7600. So this is brilliant. Also, the price of motherboards have come down quite a lot as well. I remember I spent about 200 on mine, but I found this B650 MSI Pro, quite a nice looking kind of metallic one, for 112, which is honestly an insane value as well. Moving up, we've got ourselves an M.2 at this price range. So I've just chucked in a Kingston 1 terabyte. For this price, this is honestly just the best value that you can get. You don't have to bother with an SSD at this price range. You're better off just getting an M.2. You'll have slightly faster speeds, not particularly noticeable, but it's still a nice to have. With that, I've also paired the MSI Mag Forge. Now, I used to have an MSI Mag case and I can't recommend them enough. They're such good value for the money. This one comes with 4 RGB fans at this price range. Full glass all around, and honestly, it just looks really good to me. And I've also paired it with the MSI Mag 650 watt. So 650 watt is perfectly fine for this level of build. The 9060 is not particularly power hungry, so you can easily get away with the 650 watt in this price range. What we're looking at here is a total of 840, and honestly, for this money, you cannot get a better value computer. This will last you easily the next 5 years. You'll continue to play AAA titles, maybe not at 1440p in the later stages of those 5 years, but definitely 1080, and you can easily play esports titles and certain AAA titles at 1440p medium settings with this build. Moving up now to the what I would argue is the best value for money that you can currently get in PC gaming, and it is just under the 1200 mark. It's amazing the performance that you can get for this price range. What I've chose here is the 9070 XT. The performance the 9070 XT gives you, even compared to the 5080, it's trading blows with the 5080 in some titles. This graphics card is an insane value for money. I've got this XFX one, which looks quite nice, which is 627, but also there is a Acer Nitro one, which I didn't even know Acer made graphics cards, but apparently they do now, for 619, which is a little bit cheaper on overclockers. Moving up, we're going all the way up to the 9000 series. So you got a 9600X in this build for 179. Now, I don't personally have experience with the 9000 series. From what I have seen in benchmarks, the difference is pretty marginal, but if you're moving up to this kind of level of build, you deserve to spend the extra 30 quid or so to upgrade over the 7000 series Ryzen. I've found that overall the Ryzen 5s have better value for money gaming performance over the Ryzen 7s. It's a lot of the time it's not worth it to spend nearly double the price to get an extra, 20 or 30 FPS in your game. So you might as well save that money and then reallocate that money for a better graphics card a lot of the time. You don't really need a Ryzen 7 unless you're going into the really, really high tier budgets. I've included the same motherboard because it doesn't really matter particularly what motherboard you have. The motherboard is pretty irrelevant to performance, and this is an MSI Pro B650. It's good enough for this build as well as the previous build. We've included the same Kingston, and we've also included the same RAM kit of 32GB gigabytes. All these three are just a very good value, and there's no reason particularly to change them out. Moving up, we've got a fish tank style case. This is pretty similar to the one that I have with my current build, and I think it looks pretty nice. It might not be to some people's taste, so you might want to swap that out, but I've also included some fans in the price here because there's no fans in this case. We've moved up to a CX750, so you want minimum to be at 750 watts with the amount of power that the 9070 XT currently draws. Generally, I have always bought Corsair power supplies, so I'll happily chuck this Corsair one in here, especially for longevity purposes. So that concludes the three price ranges where you get the best value for money currently. Once you get up above this price range, your value for money diminishes significantly. If you look at the amount of FPS you get versus the amount of money you spend, anything over this kind of price range, it kind of falls off of a cliff pretty much. If you're up into the 2,000, 3,000 range, you're spending so much extra, but for maybe 50% extra frames, you know? Overall, these three price ranges is where you get your best value for money. If you're looking for under 500-ish, then I would recommend looking at the used market. That's where you're going to get the best value. If you don't like the idea of buying used parts, then let me know if there's any other particular budgets that you're interested in hearing. If you're interested in getting a custom PC built to your exact budget, then we provide a service where we do that for you. You just come here down to custom PC requests and you fill out the form and how much money you want to spend, what games you want to play, and we can build a custom computer for you. Alternatively, we do have PCs, pre-built PCs that are ready to buy now as well. And if you want some advice, you can press this button here as well. Add us on Discord. We have a community of like-minded PC gamers, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can join our Discord. And obviously, like and subscribe. You know, it helps out the channel a lot. We're in the long haul for this. We're going to keep pushing forward. So I really appreciate you guys for watching. Column from SVG PCs out.